What is the biggest challenge in relationships?
Communication.
Communication.
It's communication.
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 It's communication.
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 Communicate with each other.
Consistent communication.
Like sitting there long enough to listen to what the other person got to say.
Men not understanding women enough
to hear them out. Communication.
And women not understanding a man enough.
Honest communication.
It's not always what you say, but how you say it.
He doesn't know, not me.
Nah, she. Both. Both.
I think on both ends, actually. It's difficult to communicate sometimes.
People talk in different frequencies, yo.
It's trying to read your woman's mind. That's the hard part right there.
It's all about matching frequencies and whatnot.
Same thing with a man. Same thing with a man. You have to be a mind reader with a man too.
Say what's on their mind. People not mind readers.
Sometimes we just don't see eye to eye.
Yeah. Okay.
You know, it's all about just matching straight thought.
Give hints, and giving the hints, the guy doesn't get the hint right away.
How do we deal with that? We try to talk about it. We try to nip it in the bud as early as we can.
Whether it's a man and a woman or just a relationship altogether, if you're not communicating,
always nagging you.
And if the communication lines aren't open, then you know the relationship is not going to grow.
So we have one thing in our minds, and then they just don't understand what we want.
I don't want to hit. Just be direct.
Right. Would it help if you told him?
No.
Okay. See, I'm done. I'm gone.
That's the problem right there. Help me.
No, the problem is people would accept the lie versus the truth. When you be honest with people, they don't want to accept it. But when you lie, it's like people accept it.
The biggest challenge in a relationship, I'll say, is trust.
Trust?
Trust.
Trust and honesty.
Honesty. Being honest with one another.
Trust issue.
Trust.
Trust.
Well, you got to trust each other.
Being faithful.
Having a lot of female friends while you have a girlfriend.
Loyalty. Trust.
Trust.
It's hard to establish trust in the beginning. Once you do that, relationship good.
Jealousy.
I'm jealous, but I contain it. You know what I'm saying? I contain it. Yes.
We get into a lot of problems when we can't trust.
Okay, this is a GPS locator. It's called Zoom Back. You just want to put it somewhere where it'll pick up a single, but they won't see it and it won't get loose or fall.
Why are you jealous?
Cause I just don't. I'm greedy. Like I want everything to myself. Like I want when I have someone, I want them all to myself.
The privacy underneath, up in there, tape it underneath.
Right.
They'll never see it.
You don't have to be with each other every day. You gotta think objectively and think about that life that person had and life that you have. Y'all just meet on your own standards.
I mean, not just to be nosy and you want to know where the person's at all the time. You shouldn't want to do that. In that case, you shouldn't be in a relationship. It's not necessarily like where you're going, but being able to be open with that person, saying, go out with my friends, you know, I'm gonna have a good time, that kind of stuff.
Freedom. Keep your freedom. I mean, just because you're in a relationship, it doesn't mean you have to give up your freedom.
But in space is very important. Very important. You must have space in a relationship.
Live your life. Well, you know, I just try to think, you know, this person loves me. I'm going to try to believe what they say. And I know that these girls are looking at him. I know these girls like him. I know they find him attractive. But you know what? He's with me. He's standing by me. He's walking with me. And, you know, I like to have what other people want. So, whatever.
Just making sure that you know what you want from each other and making sure that that person wants the same thing.
Starting a relationship, I mean, like, building grounds in a relationship, like, you know what I mean?
Measuring up to the requirements set by the other person.
When you go into a relationship, you already perceive what the person is, and this is why you feel like you're attracted to them, and you keep them labeled like that. And you don't accept if that's not what they are.
Real love is acceptance, and acceptance could be accept them for who they are and stay with them, or accept them for who they are and move on.
You keep them staying with what you believe they should be, and that's when the drama and the confusion comes, because that's not who they are.
He don't want no pork in the bacon, and he's conscious and she's not. It's going to be conflicts.
Always nagging you. Like, even if you're in a right, or even if you're doing something good, she always want to be on your back, like just get at you or get in you.
I'm thinking, because I love her, you know, I should like try to change certain things or try to change her. Maybe she's not ready for that lesson.
Learning to really accept somebody for all their flaws as well as their gifts, I believe, will help it work out.
Love the person for who they are as is. If you can't love them for who they are as is, then let it go. Another person will find them you know, appealing enough to want to be with them.
You don't keep nitpicking at something that you already know is a person's flaws.
We get used to the personalities. We try not to change each other and try to accept each other.
Well, if you don't want to deal with it, then you walk.
Know when to walk away. Know when to walk away.
If a female is going about it this way, you have to respect that that's how she feels, and vice versa. If a man is going to do it that way, then that woman needs to respect it. This is how he's going to get down, and this is how he thinks about it, and neither one is right or wrong.
One of the drawbacks of a relationship, it becomes a competition rather than about being the needs of the relationship.
We got to get rid of that. You can't be going with the you're dead wrong or you're wrong, blah, blah, blah.
Each person is important. Each person has a stake. The male has a stake, the female has a stake, so there really is no hierarchy when you're looking at relationships.
Not try to get caught up with the society standpoint. A man got to run everything. It's a balance. You got to have balance. And most guys are like, oh, I run things. This is my show, the way it is. And it's not like that.
Respecting each other's thought processes. We come from two different places of thought, but we both want the same thing. It's all about just matching straight thought. Both ways have to be respected. If you're on the same page, then of course this helps. But the process of getting on the same page is what's the work. Like it's a lot of work. It takes work. It's daily work.
A lot of us lead with the wrong thing when we start a relationship. You know, some of us start with sex.
Sex.
Having sex or not having sex.
But we should, you know, try to get to know each other first before we get into each other's pants. You know what I mean?
It's not having enough sex.
And that's why it's too much cheating going around.
People feel that they're open enough to be physical, but they're not open enough to express how they feel otherwise.
It's like they're more into work, the kids. The minute they give birth, they don't have time to be around their husband. They focus on the children.
My perspective, the biggest challenge is money.
Money can be a challenge in a relationship.
Financial problems, always.
It's both the lack of it and the gaining of it. For example, if you have a relationship where all of a sudden the woman is making a lot more than the man, when the man was already the breadwinner initially. So it completely changes the dynamics and the hierarchy of the relationship.
You either have to adjust, respect it, or bounce. Compromise is sacrifice, but it's a worthy one, especially if you have a good partner.
Love and happiness